Aaron and I met through a mutual friend, and we both wanted to make a feature film, and we worked out that we wanted it to be a World War II film about the individual experience. And so we started thinking about that and wanted to build up our relationship and our reputation so that we could make the feature film. So for the last 8 years now, we've been making our film, but also making commercials and TV documentaries and short films, and getting to know the international film festival circuit through our short films. And more recently, I've been working a lot in TV commercials, which has gone very, very well for us. I think a producer's job is to juggle. I think we should be in the circus for all the juggling that we do. Especially in Australia, because it's such an isolated country and a relatively small population. So in order to work continuously without waiting on tables and having a second job, you really need to do as much work as you can do. And that involves sometimes writing and directing and producing TV commercials and shorts and corporate content, anything that will come our way, which is a good way to get a breadth of experience. And also prepares you really well for getting into your first feature film circuit. The story of Canopy is really a character-driven story about these two particular characters who embody the everyman and the everyday experience of being an individual in war. So it wasn't really a decision to make a war film and then try and work out who's it going to be about, etc. It was always, at its very essence, about the friendship between Australia and Singapore, embodied in these two characters. We did a lot of research. We specifically went to Singapore for several recce's, not only to search out the jungle locations, but also to spend a lot of time at the museums and at Changi Museum to research the kind of individual experiences. But a lot of that information is very statistical, and so what we ended up doing was making a short film with a prisoner of war survivor, and we made that short film called Wind or Feng with the Objectives residency program in Singapore, so that we could actually make a film that was half Australian, half Singaporean, which is exactly the same as Canopy, with this prisoner of war gentleman, Bill Flowers, his name is. And we got to really learn in depth through this short documentary and also through our short film Wind, what his experience was. And we spent a lot of time with my grandfather, who never spoke to us about his war experience because he wanted to protect us from the horrors of war, but he spoke quite openly with Aaron, which was great. And we have a famous actor in Australia who gave us some time, and he was a photographer in World War II, Charles Bud Tingwell, his name is. He has unfortunately passed away some years ago now, but we got to spend some time talking with him as well. So we had a lot of one-on-one conversations with survivors of World War II. And let's remember they're all now in their late 80s and 90s. And there's quite a few other people as well. I'm only highlighting a couple. Yes, the sound design is quite exceptional in Canopy. Essentially, we couldn't have a lot of talking in the film because it's about two men hiding from the Japanese in a jungle. So you don't really want to do a lot of chit-chat when the enemy's all around you. So essentially, as a basis in the story, you can't have a lot of conversation. Also, the audience is the main character, Jim. And Jim doesn't understand what's being said in Chinese or Japanese. So we've just figured the audience shouldn't know either. So that's why we decided not to have subtitling or dubbing, because he doesn't know what's being said, but he understands what's happening. And that's the experience that the audience should go through. But as far as the sound design goes, there's no sound library for Singaporean jungle sounds in the world. Well, there is now because we created one. It is true that there's a large catalogue of war films in the world. It is also true that until Canopy, there was not one single film about the Singaporean conflict in World War II. So we have a world first in that respect. There is a couple of mini-series that were made in Singapore as such, I think, but they were just made for a TV. So as far as we've been told, and as far as we know, Canopy is the first film to capture the conflict of 1942 of the Japanese invasion into Singapore, which of course was under British rule at the time. So we hope that our place in the war catalogue of films has been set. During our world premiere in Toronto, where it was so busy with meetings that I didn't get to see any of the films. And so I'm very excited to see 12 Years of Slavery and Ilo Ilo. Thank you. We're both very excited about our European premiere being at the 25th Stockholm Film Festival.
Great. Thank you.